Everyone, welcome to one more episode of Nilanjana's exclusive English lessons. And in today's class, we are going to understand the lesson Oliver Asks for More. I will try to explain in English as well as in Hindi because many of you have requested me to explain in Hindi. I will definitely try and make it easy for both my audience, English as well as the Hindi audience. So today's lesson is a story from the Treasure Chest book, and it is Oliver Asks for More. Good afternoon, Deepak. I hope you are doing well. And those who are there with me in this class, I wish all of you a good afternoon, and I hope this lesson is useful for all of you. Okay. Hi, Dibyangshu. So where are you from? Are you a teacher or a student? And let me know if my voice is audible. Is it clear? Okay. Good afternoon, Akhilesh. Those who are joining in, you can just let me know from where you are joining in, which part of the country you are. My name is Nilanjana. I hope all of you know me by this time. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. I hope the channel is becoming useful to you. You are getting a lot of clarity with the explanations. Okay, yes. All right. So now let's, without wasting much time, let's begin with the lesson. How many of you have read the lesson? Have you read the story? Oliver Asks for More. Okay. You're from Jharkhand. That's great. I'm from Mumbai, and I hope that I will, as I have already said, that yes, today's video I will try to explain also in Hindi because many have requested me to explain in Hindi. So ये जो story है Oliver Asks for More, ये actually एक novel से लिया गया है. मतलब ये जो main novel है वो है Oliver Twist नाम का जो novel. I'm sure many of you have heard about this novel. It's a very famous novel. और उससे ये एक्सट्रैक्ट लिया गया है ओलिवर आस्क्स फॉर मोर, जहां से मतलब नॉवेल का एक पार्ट लेके ये एक्सट्रैक्ट दिया गया है. और ये जो पार्ट है ये बहुत ही मीनिंगफुल और बहुत ही टचिंग एंड अपीलिंग है. ये जो छोटा सा स्टोरी दिया गया है बहुत ही टचिंग एंड मीनिंगफुल है, जिसपे बोला गया है कि एक बच्चा ओलिवर जो नाम है, he is an orphan, right? आपको I'm sure most of you are aware who is an orphan. An orphan is a child who does not have his parents. So ये जो एक orphan का life है वो कितना miserable हो सकता है, इसके लिए ये story बहुत ही touching और appealing है. ठीक है, तो let's move ahead and let's understand the lesson further. Okay, so before we start the discussion, I'm sure you all need to know about the author Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens का नाम I'm sure it's like most of you, many of you must have heard. So उसका जो छोटा सा मैं एक information आप लोगों के साथ share करूँगी. He was an English writer and social critic. English writer definitely, क्योंकि उसने बहुत सारे books, novels, short stories लिखा है. और सोशल क्रिटिक. ना सोशल क्रिटिक का मतलब क्या है? जो सोसाइटी के ऊपर जो अपने थॉट्स शेयर करते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हिज नॉवेल्स एंड स्टोरीज, उसको हम सोशल क्रिटिक बोलते हैं. बिकॉज नॉवेल्स पढ़ के हमको मालूम पड़ता है कि वो दैट टाइम व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ सोसाइटी एग्जिस्टेड. So that is the reason he is also known as a social critic. He is known for his vivid descriptions of life in Victorian England. ये जो नॉवल का बैकग्राउंड है, it is Victorian England. ठीक है, Victorian era इंग्लैंड का वो टाइम पे कैसा एक क्लास स्ट्रक्चर एग्जिस्ट करता था, सोसाइटी कैसा था, उसका बहुत ही अच्छे से उसने डिस्क्राइब किया है. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट ओलिवर ट्विस्ट, उसका और भी बहुत सारे मेमोरेबल कैरेक्टर्स है, जैसे कि स्क्रूज, डेविड कॉपरफील्ड. ये भी बहुत सारे अच्छे अच्छे कैरेक्टर्स उसने क्रिएट किया है जो आज भी ये देयर आर मेनी अडेप्शंस ऑफ द स्टोरीज एज मूवीज इवन. मतलब ये स्टेज्ड भी होता है एज ड्रामाज एंड इट हैज आल्सो बीन अडेप्टेड इन मूवीज. The term Dickensian is used to describe something that is reminiscent of Dickens and his writings, such as poor social or working conditions or comically repulsive. So Dickens का एक typical style होता था character sketch में, और उसको सोशल क्रिटिक्स ने, लिटरेरी क्रिटिक्स ने उसको एक टर्म दिया गया है जिसको बोलते हैं डिकेंसियन. डिकेंसियन मतलब क्या? इट्स वेरी इजी. मतलब डिकेंस का जो टिपिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ट्रेट्स है वो सब हमको वो सब कैरेक्टर्स में मिलेंगे. सो इसलिए वो टर्म कॉइन किया गया है डिकेंसियन, और जिसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा एम्फेसिस इज मोर ऑन द poor people, the poor working conditions of the people, and also some characters which are also comically repulsive. Okay. Yes, those are joining in, I welcome all of you to this video. This is a request video. Oliver asked for more. Many of you have requested it, and that's the reason I'm doing this. So thank you for joining in. If you're listening to the video, make sure you share it as much as possible with your friends so that many people get access to this video. They come to know about it and take benefit, because it could be difficult for many people. And yes, please go and hit the like button if you think that it is being of great help to you. Okay, so can we move ahead? Is it clear till here? I hope my voice is audible and clear. Because somebody said to me today कि आपके वीडियो में एक humming sound आया था, तो मैंने सोचा कि I hope the voice is clear, it's audible. Okay, let's move on. And now ये जो Oliver Twist का character he has created, how does this character become so famous and so appealing? What is the reason that he could portray it in such a beautiful manner? The reason is because this character is related to his own life in many ways. Oliver Twist is related to Charles Dickens' life in several ways. Like Oliver, Dickens grew up in poverty and had to work in a factory as a child. So ये जो story है इसमें देखा गया है कि Oliver जो एक a young child, he's a young child, तो he used to work in a workhouse. Workhouse is a condition, एक जगह होता था उस टाइम पे जहाँ पे जो बच्चे poor है, the poor families, उनको वहाँ पे रखा जाता था और उसको खाना मिलता तो था, बट कैसे खाना मिलता था तो आई एम श्योर आपको अगर आपने स्टोरी पढ़ा है तो यू विल नो, एंड आई विल ऑल्सो टेल यू. मतलब वो ना मिलने का ही बराबर है. एंड जहां पे वो लोग रहते थे उसके लिए दे हैड टू डू सम काइंड ऑफ वर्क. तो यहाँ पे डिकेंस का भी पर्सनल जो एक्सपीरियंस है उसने भी ऐसे ही अपना चाइल्डहुड में एक्सपीरियंस किया गया है, इसलिए प्रॉबेबली ही कुड पोर्ट्रे द कैरेक्टर सो ब्यूटिफुली. He also had a difficult childhood and was forced to fend for himself at a young age. Dickens drew on these experiences to create the character of Oliver Twist and the world he inhabits, highlighting the injustices of the Victorian era and the plight of the poor. So, Dickens को भी बहुत ही कम उम्र में he had to start working. The reason is for survival. People, there are children, those who are very lucky, they go we go to school and we get all the privileges and luxuries of life. But on the other hand, ये जो society है यहाँ पे बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हैं जिसको ये सब benefits privileges नहीं मिलता है, और यही उसने portray किया है through this story. And Dickens का personal experience में भी उसने he went through all these things, and that's the reason he could portray it so nicely. और ये नॉवल के he has also spoken about the plight of the poor. Plight मतलब जो difficulties, sufferings, misery of the poor people, ये भी उसने बहुत अच्छे तरह से highlight किया है. Artificial chapter 1, I didn't understand. What is artificial chapter? Which chapter you're asking for? Today, I'm planning to do only this one, Oliver Twist. Oliver asks for more, and then whatever request, you can share it. Later on, I will definitely plan that. And yes, any doubts and all, I can clear. Chalo, let's go ahead. Let's move ahead. Those who are here, I hope you are listening to the video. Now let's come to the plot of the story. The story में actually हुआ क्या है, that I will discuss in bullets so that it's very clear for you. आपको अगर ये story अच्छी तरह से मालूम पड़ जाएगा तो it will be easy for you to understand कि summary क्या है और इसमें क्या क्या हुआ है. Okay. So Oliver Twist is an orphan. Orphan मतलब I already told you. Orphan मतलब एक बच्चा जिसका parents नहीं है. His mother dies after giving birth to him in the workhouse. तो एक जो workhouse है, suddenly one day a lady comes over here and she gives birth to a child. वो कहाँ से आया है, कहाँ जाने वाले थे, इसके बारे में हमको कुछ मालूम नहीं है. Okay, so जहाँ उस time पे at that point of time there was a doctor and an old woman who was present there, and the lady gives birth and then within a few minutes she dies. Now the child who gets born is Oliver Twist. He's named as Oliver Twist, and that name is also given by a person who like manages the workhouse. So Oliver का आगे पीछे कोई नहीं है. Okay, his mother also dies immediately after his birth, and we can understand that from the very beginning, from the time he has set his feet into the world, there is nothing but only pain for him. The doctor and the old woman present there wonders where she came from and where she was going. This is the lady, means Oliver's mother. किसी को मालूम नहीं कहाँ से आई थी वो. He grows up in a workhouse in London. So slowly Oliver grows up in this workhouse in London. As I already told you, what is a workhouse? A workhouse is a place where the poor children are kept and they are given food. Means you have a place to live, you have a shelter, and you're getting the food, but the living conditions are extremely miserable. Mr. Bumble oversees the workhouse and names him Oliver Twist. Means oversees the workhouse matlab he is the person who manages the workhouse, and he is the person who names him as Oliver Twist. Now the boys, Oliver के साथ जो अलग दूसरे जो boys भी रहते थे वहां पे, उन सबको they receive very little food and warm clothing. मतलब उनको खाना जो मिलता था that was as good as nothing, only for survival. And not only food but also regarding clothing. Now you know that in the winter it has quite severe weather conditions. So in order to protect themselves from the cold weather, they were not even given proper clothing. They are given thin soup for 3 meals a day. The word that is used in the lesson is gruel. Now gruel is nothing but soup. So these children, they are given thin soup for 3 meals a day. यही उनका खाना है. Can you imagine? दिन के 3 टाइम पे हम लोग जैसे we eat so many things and we always expect कि चलो आज हम ये खाएंगे, कल हम वो खाएंगे. But these children, they live in such a miserable condition कि उनको 3 टाइम पे सिर्फ सूप ही लेना पड़ता था. And on Sundays only, the only privilege they used to get is a small piece of bread. Means वही उनके लिए as if special है. So obviously you can understand now, if you give these children only this amount of food, they will all starve, and that's only what happened. The children were very hungry most of the time, and they lived in such horrible conditions. Okay. Next we move on to the next part of the story. They get the same food every day. So ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको रोज रोज अलग अलग कुछ मिलता था. रोज उनको यही same चीज they had to eat, and obviously they look very pale and thin. All the children in the workhouse, they look very pale. Why pale? Because if you are not healthy, if you are not given proper food, it will definitely show up, right? It will be reflected in your health. So the same thing happened. So ऐसे ही one day what happened, since these children were very starved and they wanted to have some extra food, Oliver and his friends decide to ask for more food one day, and Oliver is chosen to make the request. So उन लोगों ने आपस में decide किया है कि चलो हम लोग थोड़ा आज extra मांगते हैं, because इनसे हमको पेट नहीं भर रहा है. And सबले Oliver के जो friends है उसने उसको बोला कि तुम ही बोलो जाके. You are the one, who is going to bell the cat. ऐसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, कौन जाके बोलेंगे. So Oliver is chosen the one, and Oliver also himself, he decided कि चलो I will only take the lead and I will ask for more food. यही उनका गलती है कि उसने थोड़ा सा ज्यादा खाना मांगा है. क्यों मांगा है, we already know. Now, जैसे ही उसने बोला, the master is shocked. Now, the master is the person who used to serve them the food. And if you read the story, all the character sketches, whenever you read, you will see that everybody is fat, except the children in the workhouse. Except the people who lived in the workhouse, मतलब जो inmates है workhouse का, उनको छोड़ के सब लोग बहुत fat है. मतलब it's what? It's pure exploitation, right? सो द मास्टर को बहुत गुस्सा आया और उसने मारा ओलिवर को और तुरंत जाके मिस्टर बम्बल को कंप्लेन किया. सो मिस्टर हु इज मिस्टर बम्बल, यू नो, ही इज द मैनेजर काइंड ऑफ इन द वर्क हाउस. द मास्टर हिट्स हिम एंड लॉक्स हिम अप इन अ डार्क रूम. मतलब जैसे ही मिस्टर बम्बल ने सुना कि क्या उसने मांगा, मोर फूड ही वांटेड, आई विल टीच हिम अ लेसन. सो उसने बहुत उसको मारा और उसको एक डार्क रूम में लॉकअप कर दिया. एंड बीच में 1 वीक उसको बहुत टॉर्चर भी किया. ही वॉज लाइक बीटन अप वेरी बैडली. एंड द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग अ नोटिस इज पुट अप ऑन द वर्क हाउस टू एडवर्टाइज एन ऑफर. और दूसरा दिन मॉर्निंग में एक नोटिस भी डाल दिया और वो नोटिस में लिखा था कि इफ एनीवन टेक्स दिस बॉय अवे ही विल गेट 5 pounds. So now they wanted to get rid of Oliver, or not only that, just for a minimum amount of 5 pounds, he was like, given away. If anybody wants to take Oliver, he can just, get 5 pounds and take this boy away. So this was the notice that was put in the workhouse. Towards the end of the story, Mr. Bumble meets Mr. Sawberry, who makes coffins for poor people who died in the workhouse. And finally, Oliver is taken as an apprentice. So the story is only this much. But what we come to know is that, first of all, there are a lot of things that has to be discussed in the story. Because when he asks for more food, what kind of treatment Oliver is given? First of all, he is beaten up mercilessly. उसको बहुत ज़्यादा मारा गया. Okay, and उसको पूरा एक room में, dark room में, he was locked up. Okay, and in that cold dark room, 1 week he used to remain there. He had to remain there, and he was like beaten by Mr. Bumble every morning. Not only that, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा insult भी किया हुआ, because he had to, he was like marched in front of the other boys as a punishment every morning. And Oliver को, obviously he has no other option only to cry and pray कि hopefully one day his misery and his suffering will end. All right. So this story, basically, now if you understand the title, Oliver asks for more. Okay, just a minute. I have a call. Yes, so the story is Oliver asks for more. And ask for more means what? Ask for more means it's basically the food that he is asking for. And now you tell me, is it a crime to ask for a little more food? Is it really a crime? I hope everybody will say like, no, it's not, right? If somebody is hungry, and if you have kept these children in the warehouse, of course, it will never be, it should never be a crime. It's your duty to take care of these children, of these orphans, and give them food, give them some love. That is what is more important. When you treat children, you need to treat children with love, and that is what missing. It was missing in the lives of all these children. Now, what is the theme of the story? Now, there are many themes, a couple of themes in the story, which let's discuss now. The first one is injustice and cruelty faced by the poor in the 19th century England. So 19th century England में जो injustice हुआ था, जो cruelty होता था, वो सब इसने, डिकेंस ने बहुत vividly describe किया अपने ये novel में. Injustice का मतलब क्या है? अन्याय. Cruelty, I hope all of you know, मतलब एक बच्चे को मारना, उसको खाना नहीं देना, ऊपर से वो जब ऑर्फन है तो उसको तो और भी प्यार का जरूरत है. But that was absolutely not given. On top of that, they were beaten mercilessly without any food, without any clothing. It also portrays the social hierarchy, the class structure. विक्टोरियन इंग्लैंड में जो सोसाइटी एग्जिस्ट करता था वो टाइम पे, वहां पे क्लास स्ट्रक्चर वो बहुत क्लियरली डिकेंस ने पोर्ट्रे किया। क्लास स्ट्रक्चर मतलब एक सोशल हायरार्की जहां पे रिच, मिडिल क्लास और पुअर है। So the rich, who is the aristocrat class, means they are the rich people who enjoys all the privileges, all the luxuries. The middle class people who have just the minimum to survive, and the poor people who are exploited and mistreated. So Oliver over here represents the poor people. And it is always seen that the people who are rich, most of the time, how they are more powerful and how they exploit the poor. And the same thing we see also in this novel. यहाँ पे powerful कौन है? Mr. Bumble is powerful. The board of directors, the people who manage the workhouse, they are powerful. So what are they doing? They are exploiting the poor people. The next thing is mistreatment of orphans. Now orphan, as I have already said कि orphan जो होते हैं उसको और भी प्यार, compassion, kindness का ज़रूरत है, right? We need to extend our love towards them, these children, because they have nobody in this world. So if we are taking care of them, we also need to be more humane. We need to be more human towards in our approach, in our attitude. Be sensitive towards their needs, not treat them like this. And the last one is standing up for oneself even in the face of adversity. So यहाँ पे क्या है? Oliver, even though he was living a life filled with challenges, filled with adversities in the workhouse, जहाँ पे उसको खाना नहीं मिलता है, जहाँ पे उसको मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट वो भी जरूरत पूरा नहीं होता है, फिर भी जब जरूरत होता है कि नाउ ही नीड्स टू स्पीक अप, उसका फ्रेंड्स मिलके जब वो लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि चलो आज हम पूछते हैं फॉर लिटिल मोर फूड, ही इज द वन हु स्टैंड्स अप फॉर हिमसेल्फ इवन इन द फेस ऑफ एडवर्सिटी. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वन थिंग दैट वी शुड लर्न फ्रॉम ओलिवर कि कभी मतलब एडवर्सिटी में वी शुड नॉट हैव अ सेटबैक. Rather, whenever it is required, we need to take a stand and we need to ask and probably demand for certain things which is our right. Even though he doesn't get it at that time, but it shows that Oliver has the courage, the guts to stand up for himself. I hope the theme is clear till here. Those who are listening, if you can just let me know yes, then it would be great. Somebody has said doctor journal entry for August 6. Okay. All right. Definitely. I'll keep that in mind. Please, those who are watching the video, make sure you hit the like button and share it with your friends. And those who have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Because I'm sure all of you know that, every now and then I'm uploading videos. Yesterday also I've uploaded a video. I have discussed the character sketch of Bunko Babu and his friends. So you should not miss out the uploads. Every video is coming with a lot of content. And every content is related to your exam preparation. So I want everybody to listen to it attentively and don't skip the videos also. Watch it till the end. ठीक है, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now let's go with the last part, which is a character sketch, character analysis of the main two characters, Oliver Twist. So Oliver Twist, who is he? He is the main protagonist of the story. Story में वही है main protagonist. Protagonist का मतलब है main character. It's a better word for character. Instead of the word character, you can use this. He is mistreated and abused. Mistreated. There are plenty of evidence in the story when he gets mistreated. उसको मारा जाता है, उसको insult किया जाता है, और उसको एक रूम में लॉकअप किया गया है. So he's locked up, he's beaten mercilessly, he's abused. So these are the main things that we know about Oliver Twist. He is raised as an orphan. His mother dies immediately after giving birth to him, so he's raised as an orphan in the workhouse. But even though he goes through all such challenges, he retains a sense of kindness and compassion. Still, if you read the novel, after this there are many things that has been shared in the story. We can understand that somehow he still retains a sense of kindness and compassion. The other main character of the story is Mr. Bumble. Who is he? He is the important officer in the town who is mainly in charge of the workhouse. He is the one who is like the supervisor of the workhouse. Uske under, he's in the, you can say that he checks the administration of the workhouse. What is his nature? He's extremely cruel and callous. बहुत ही cruel है. And at the same time, he enjoys his power over vulnerable children. Vulnerable children मतलब children those who are weak. Because उनके आगे पीछे कोई नहीं है, उनके लिए लड़ने वाले कोई नहीं है. आज के जमाने में किसी के बच्चे को कुछ हुआ कि किसी ने मारा, इमीडिएटली सबके को पीछे कितने लोग आ जाते हैं, राइट? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव आवर पेरेंट्स टू स्टैंड फॉर आवर किड्स, बट इमेजिन द लाइफ ऑफ एन ऑर्फन जिसके आगे पीछे कोई नहीं है. एंड इट्स सो सैड दैट such a man, instead of being caring, he is like exploiting them to a great extent, makes them work, and not only that, doesn't even give them proper food and clothing, and on top of that beats them mercilessly. So ओलिवर का क्या गुना था? गुना यही था कि उसने थोड़ा सा ज्यादा खाना मांगा, इसके लिए उसको बहुत ज्यादा से मारा गया, लॉकअप किया गया, फिर उसको बोला गया कि you will now leave the workhouse, and he was sent to somebody else only for in the exchange money of £5. Okay, so my dear subscribers and listeners, those who are here with me today, I think Oliver asked for more में यही है. शायद कोई आगे के वीडियो में I will put some more information and I will give you a few question answers अगर जैसी जरूरत है. I will definitely do that. But story का जो main है that I have discussed, and I hope it is clear. कोई doubt है तो अभी पूछ सकते हो आप लोग जो भी है मेरे साथ. If you are there, if you can ask a few doubts, I can try to solve it. Please read the lesson. That is very important. Read the lesson line by line, and it will help you to answer the questions in a better way. Okay, so I hope with that, let me end the video then. And yes, अगर किसी को क्वेश्चन आंसर और पर्सनल अटेंशन के लिए है चाहिए तो yes, I do take my classes, online classes for ICSE and ISC. So make sure that you can drop a mail, and you can of course write to me. Stick at the gate of the house. What was stuck at the gate of the house? It was a notice that was stuck at the gate of the house. Towards the end, you're asking, right? Last में ना? Yes, towards the end of the story, one day outside the high workhouse gate, Mr. Bumble met Mr. Sorberry. Mr. Sorberry was a tall, thin man who wore black clothes and made coffins. Many of his coffins were for the poor people who died in the workhouse. Now this line, many of the people died in the workhouse. That means what? That means they lived in such a miserable life that बहुत सारे लोग मारा भी जाता था. Because without any kind of food, severe conditions of living, so maximum people died in the workhouse, and he is the person, Mr. Sorberry was the person who used to make the coffins for them. So Mr. Bumble tells him, I have prepared the coffins for the 2 women who died last night. Good, said Mr. Bumble. You will be rich one day. Now see how callous and how insensitive can someone be. Mr. Sorberry, do you know anybody who wants a boy and £5? He raised his stick and pointed to the notice on the gate. So notice में क्या दिया था? Notice में ये दिया था कि £5 were offered to anybody who would take Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist को जो भी लेके जाएगा उसको £5 दिया जाएगा. Okay, this was the notice that was put up at the workhouse gate. Because why? The reason was they did not want Oliver to keep any longer. That was his punishment, and the reason was he asked for more food. So as a punishment, they wanted to now drive him out of the house. And how? That also they put a notice, kind of an advertisement, you can say in other words, but you will use the word notice only, which is given in the story. So यहाँ पे जिसने ओलिवर को जो भी लेके जाएगा उसको £5 मिलेगा. This was the notice that was put up. Okay, so yeah, I hope then that's all. Any further doubts? The main thing that you have to notice over here in the story is the insensitive nature of Mr. Bumble. Now, people are dying in the workhouse very frequently. That is what we can understand from the story. They are dying very frequently because they don't have any food and they live in very miserable condition. Even last night, 2 women died, and his answer was good. Not a word of compassion, not a word of condolence. He just tells good, and you will be rich one day. मतलब ऐसे कॉफिन बनाते बनाते तुम rich बन जाओगे. Okay, and then he tells that who wants Oliver. So with this, the story ends. Okay, so thank you so much for being there. I hope the lesson is clear. And yes, if you need any help, if you are, I don't know why, Zoom ID to I don't share, but what you can do is you can mail me. If you can mail me, I will definitely, get back to you. Okay, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have this was clear for you. And yeah, that's have a nice weekend, everyone. Goodbye.